everyone, and welcome to World of Travel, the podcast, the companion to our global docuseries where we dive into the past, present, and future of destinations through the lens of the people who shaped them. And on this podcast, we chat with world travelers for more insight into the voices, stories, and even the personal journeys behind the places we highlight. So today's guest is someone who I know you've seen on YouTube and Instagram, a premier provider of these immersive cultural experiences across Europe and the U.S.,
Brandon Shaw, better known as the tour guy. Welcome to the show.
Brandon, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Excited to join and talk to you guys about the world.
Look at the map behind you. That's pretty cool.
I love that.
Thanks. I travel a lot, so I tend to look at the map a lot to make sure where I have to go next. So
we've been to a few of the same places in Europe, but we want to get right to it. Let's talk about this Paris heist.
We got to start there.
What do you know?
I figured, yeah, it's insane when we first heard about it because we obviously run tours on a daily basis in Paris and in the Louvre. And so we knew pretty much right after it happened. And our groups that were in there actually got escorted out. And it's literally something from a movie. It's like, if you've seen the Lupin movies, the French films, it's literally like a heist from Ocean's 11 or something like that. And everybody was completely shocked.
How does this happen, though? When we saw the details, it's very complex, but very amateur. Like a ladder just went up. People just went in there. Like, paint the picture for anybody who's trying to follow along, who's like, wait, what exactly happened? What do you know? Because you got some of the inside scoop being that you run tours in there and you knew people that were actually kicked out in the moment that it happened.
I don't think people will actually believe when I tell them how they did it. They literally so the Louvre, faces the river. So they literally just went to the outside on the river in the middle of broad daylight, put a ladder up, climbed in through the window, and stole the crown jewels, and then came back out and left. That's it. Like, there's nothing. I'd like to add something else to make this a little more spy-like, but that's all they did. And It's as ridiculous as it sounds. Yeah.
You got to keep it simple.
It's a bit embarrassing, I think, for the Louvre officials.
So there's some conspiracy theories, and I don't like to give breath to conspiracy theories, but in this case, it's a little humorous. Like, people are saying the government wanted to take back some of its own money, so it stole from itself.
What?
And that they were like, oh, if we steal the jewels, this goes back into the debt of the country, and we can kind of balance out, get ourselves out of debt. I know that you're not going to lean into this with me, but I'm just telling what I've been hearing on these Instagram streets.
Is that true?
I think it's a huge embarrassment for the government. So I definitely think it's something they would not want to do. It's quite embarrassing. It's like, somebody going to the Met in New York, just climbing through a random window and stealing some of the most precious artwork in there and leaving, and they can't find them afterwards. So
yeah, they had to have planned this over a good amount of time because the type of jewelry they went for. I mean, I don't know exactly all jewelry because we've been to the Louvre and it takes you 5 hours to get through the place. But they went directly to some of the best jewels that I've ever seen. I don't know if it's the best in the Louvre, but these heist guys have some These heist guys have some good taste with the crown and the necklace and the different stuff they took.
Well, it makes sense because if you're going to, if you were going to steal a painting, it's a little more complex to steal a painting opposed to just breaking a window, grabbing some jewels and running out. And as they say, I was just there. I was there a few months ago, and I went into the room and I looked at the crown jewels, and I thought, "Wow, this is so beautiful." And then a few months later, they literally just stole it.
So when you go to the Louvre, Kolyn and I, so somebody told us this on TikTok, and I don't wonder how you feel about some of these TikTok hats, because some of them could lean into...
if it's on TikTok, it's true.
100%. Well, so someone told us, listen, if you don't want to wait in that long line, and we had already waited in the line and went in the right way, but we just wanted to see for ourselves. It said, go through the place where the people exit, which is like on the other side, and go in and you can just walk right in and get your ticket that way.
It's a staircase that goes down into the ground on the other side that you can skip the line through.
And we were like, wow, we just waited for no reason.
We did it.
Just waited for, So
you're saying under the pyramid?
No, it's not under the pyramid. You walk past the pyramid, and it's like I think it's on the far side. So it's like
there's an exit where the pyramid is. So if you go underground and you go where under the pyramid is, there's an exit there, but there's also an entrance to get inside.
Okay, so I think you walk past some shops. It's some shops. You walk
Lots
to the
of
back.
shops.
Okay, lots of shops.
Lots of shops.
I don't remember. We made it. We found the spot.
You walk in where people exit right before they go shopping as they exit. You walk in right there. It's telling you to go that way in and go get your ticket that way
Yes.
rather than wait on that outdoor line.
Yeah, but you still have to get in and pay.
When did you guys go?
What was it, a year and a half, 2 years ago?
Two and a half.
It's like it changed since then.
Hopefully we're not in trouble.
It's changed. Yeah, no, it's definitely changed. You could just be spot on lucky and get there, but usually the line goes where you're talking about, goes out, down past all those shops and up the stairs.
Oh, so that's not even a secret. We just found another way to get in.
Yeah, it was another way.
Got it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a garden.
I wouldn't say it's a secret way.
It's not a
to get
secret.
inside,
Somebody just
but
told
It's not a
us.
secret anymore.
but it was a secret for you guys, and it
It
worked.
was a secret for us.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so tell us about how you guys set up your Louvre days with your groups. Like, what time do you guys get up? Is that like a one-day event, or do you set up a lot of events throughout the day for your tours?
We do multiple tours. We do multiple small group tours throughout the day. So depending on the time that we get the tickets, we do early morning when they first open, and then around 10, 11:30, and then afternoon slots as well. Because everybody has a different time schedule. Some people like to go early in the morning, get the museum stuff done, and then just go hang out and have like a nice lunch or go see something else. And then some people want to sleep in the morning, which is also great, and then go in the afternoon. So all throughout the day, we run small group tours up to 15 people, and then also really small group tours, semi-private groups of 6 people or less.
How long do you give the people at the Mona Lisa to take a picture?
That's so people are standing
15
there for
people, each person
they're
trying to
like
get a
in the way.
I think, yeah, it depends on the person on the tour. Sometimes they look at it and they're like, first of all, most people are a little bit disappointed because you see your entire, like us growing up in the States, we've seen our entire lives. You go there and you're like, it's that small.
Right.
And it's behind bulletproof glass and there's a lot of people. But if you get there early in the morning or sometimes later in the day, you can have less people. It's kind of knowing the times to go in the museum.
So tell me a little bit about Paris, because a lot of our episode that this just aired before this podcast was, or if you're watching on YouTube, the episode that you'll see is the episode about Paris. And we had a great time. We've been there a few times and feel like we learned something different or try something different each time. So how do you break down for people when they're going, and don't even get me started with France. There's way too much to do in France as a whole, but just sticking to Paris for a second. How do you tell people like what you must do? Because everyone probably has a little bit of a different list. Some people want to skip over the obvious, like, okay, should you even climb the Eiffel Tower? Should you even have dinner up there? Or should you just stand by it on the road and move on? How do you make a list of like, here, if you must do these 5 things or these 3 things, what's ending up on yours?
So I think it really depends on if it's your first time or not going. So if you're a complete newbie and you've never been to Paris at all, there are, I would say, kind of like a template that you can go by to make things a little bit easier for you. The reason a lot of, I think, in the news in the last year, people are saying, oh, don't go and visit the places where everybody visits. But there's a reason these places are famous, right? Like there's a reason that the Eiffel Tower is famous. When you go up there, it's beautiful. And I think one of the top things you should do when you're in Paris, also people ask me about the most romantic thing, it's you should go to the summit of the Eiffel Tower and have a glass of champagne. You're going to pay a ridiculous amount of money for it, but it's something that it's a very unique experience. And I think that's what you're looking for. Because if you're going to do the same things in Paris you can do in New York or in Chicago, it doesn't really make much sense to go there, right? But if you can go to Paris, you can go to the Eiffel Tower. Like, did you guys do it when you went?
We didn't have a glass of champagne up there. We just,
not.
we didn't even, I've been to Paris because I even studied abroad in London and went during college, and I've skipped the dinner or the drink up there actually now every single time that I've been. But now that you're saying it, I'm like, okay, I guess I got to do it. Like, I got to do the tourist thing.
It's something to try. It's just, again, you're looking for unique experiences that you can do. So, to be able to go up in the Eiffel Tower and have a glass of champagne, especially as the sun's going down, it's just something you'll never forget.
Yeah.
I think in your life.
We stayed at the Shangri-La Paris across from the Eiffel Tower, and we were doing a story on Roland Bonaparte. He owned, that was his house at one point in time back in the late 1800s. And he hated the Eiffel Tower so much that he put his bedroom on the other side of the hotel so he couldn't see it. So the only thing he could see is the other buildings across the street. So we were hearing about how much Roland hated the Eiffel Tower, and I guess we ended up just going with the flow.
It was very unpopular when it was first made because Parisians are quite particular people, and a lot has changed over the last 20 years. But Parisians are very much critical of what's going on. So yeah, back in the day they were pretty much against it. Was this huge piece of iron there, but now, I mean, it is a symbol to go visit.
It's beautiful.
So
Yeah, we love it.
I definitely think. I think another thing you shouldn't miss is taking a cruise on the river,
I've
on the
did, I've
Seine
done
itself,
that one. Yeah.
just because it's great. Unlike other cities, on Paris, from the river, you can actually see a lot of the city and beautiful landmarks along the entire ride that you go. So again, romantic. People always talk about romantic. It's something nice to do. It's something different. And I think that one of the advantages that Paris has, along with other European capitals, is it's been around a long time. So you have a lot of history involved in literally everywhere that you walk. So if you want, for example, you can go to Place de la Concorde, which today is just a big, huge roundabout.
Yeah.
But you have to imagine 400 years ago, that's where the guillotine was, right? During the revolution. Or sorry, 200 years ago. So like that's where this all took place. And every layer of the cities you go through, you have all of these amazing things you can see, or at least imagine that took place there. So I think it's fascinating.
And that's where in the episode. So we're gonna before the show we're gonna air our Paris episode. And in the Paris episode, I mentioned that when I walked through Paris, it felt like an open air museum. Like when you're going down the river or you walking down the bridges, you look at the bridges and it's artwork. It's literally like you look at the bridges and there's these figures, these gargoyles, different things that are just decorating everything. And it made me think about like how much time it took for them to just do it right. Especially looking at the United States, we're only, 340 years old, or 300 years old. A lot of our stuff seems like it's been thrown up, and that's not the same in Paris. You look at the different monuments and you just at all how they did this.
There's a lot of trend-setting things that happen in Paris that I think a lot of people don't know about, which is quite interesting. So like Pont Neuf, which is one of the oldest bridges that were there, this was one of the main places where people first started congregating and trying to like pick up other people, as far as like men picking up women. Today we take it for granted. You go to a bar, you kind of pick up people. Back in the day, they didn't do this kind of thing. So between Pont Neuf, this was like the first major place where you'd go and meet people.
Wow.
Which is it's crazy for us to think today, because before Pont Neuf, all bridges had buildings on them. So think like the Ponte Vecchio in Florence. It has all these little shops on top of it. Well, Pont Neuf, when they built it, they didn't put shops on either side. So you could actually have perspective and have a view. So it became the thing to do. Let's go meet at the Pont Neuf. And that's what they'd meet. Or you go to the Tuileries Gardens, which was the place where you'd always hear about the aristocratic men who were going to try and pick up the young peasant girl because they could hide at nighttime and not be discovered. So just things we take for granted. Or nighttime lighting, which was invented in Paris. So the first street lights at nighttime happened in Paris. So before Paris, let's say, or without Paris, you would actually, once nighttime came, you would go home because it wasn't very safe to be outside afterwards. Once you had street lights at night, now stores could be open later. Window shopping was invented. So just small fun facts like this, it's all in Paris. It's just a fascinating city.
Is that where the stigma came from? Like the suave Parisian guy that knows how to pick up women really well? Like it just flows off
Probably.
the cuff?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, yeah. You never think...
I would say Italians have that too.
Yeah.
Italians and French, they both got it. But it could be.
Yeah.
So I wonder what makes you want to focus specifically. I mean, there's so many places, and we've asked, to be fair, we've asked our tour operator that we went with in South Africa, why don't they expand past Africa and do other places? So I'll ask you, are Europe and the U.S. the only destinations that you want to focus on for the foreseeable future, or do you think about expanding past those territories?
For the foreseeable future, yes. There's so much to do in Europe. We tend to think of Europe like Africa. Hey, it's just like it's a place. But as you guys know, there's so many individual cities and so many experiences to do that, we could literally just do Europe moving forward because there's so many places as we are expanding into other cities. Right. It's very different as well between cities, obviously. Like operating in Italy is very different than operating in France, than operating in Spain. But for the foreseeable future, that's where we're going to stay.
All right. I want to talk about how you guys got started in production. So I watched a couple of your videos, which are really good. What made you guys want to start doing the content? Was it just to promote the tours, or what was the overall goal for that?
Yeah, originally it was just to promote our products that we're doing, and we felt that it was a while ago when I was doing some research. I was going, I think, to Jerusalem, and this is back a while ago, and I remember just reading a blog or reading just some content for free, and then afterwards, once I read the content, I had a trust factor. I trusted this source that I was reading, and they said, "Well, by the way, we have some tours that you can do." So I thought, well, that makes a lot of sense. Let's offer some free info also to people because not everybody you don't want to have charge for everything. So you give free info, and then also, if you want, we also do tours.
Nice.
So that's kind of the idea behind the blog and our YouTube videos.
Yeah. When I watched
And they're kind of fun.
When I watched
fun
the parents,
They are. They are. I was about to say you guys are smiling and having a. I was literally like, wait, they all remind me of us because we are genuinely happy to be there. Like we land places. Like the most recent time I remember this is landing. Well, we went to Turkey this year, so I remember it then. But a significant time is when we landed in the Dubai airport. Now, if you've been there, that place looks like the best shopping mall I've ever seen, the Mall of America or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, and we haven't even gotten to the main event, which is like experiencing the city itself. We landed and one of our videographers and myself were like we were like kids in candy stores. There were like so many great shops. We wanted to just hang out in the airport. And so that experience like translated throughout the entire trip. I mean, every time we went to sand dunes, it had that same feeling again. We tried local foods, had that same experience again. And so whenever we watched your videos, I was like, oh, wow, everyone is like happy to be there and enjoying themselves. And I think that that's easily understandable by watching and why you probably have so many people watching these videos.
Yeah. And I think a part of the advantage is that we obviously have lived in the countries. You know, I lived in Paris back in 1999, 2000. Lived in Rome for over about 15 years. So we know Europe really well, not just from a touristic point of view, but actually living in the places and knowing the local culture. And we love it. So we love going there. We're there often every 6 weeks. And we have lots of friends over there. And I mean, Europe is a really fun place to go to. And it's so different, right? 2-hour car drive or 2-hour train ride. You're in a completely different city, different food, different language sometimes, completely different culture. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's cool that you guys give, just like you were saying, like the 2-hour car ride or the taxi or the train rides. When we were in Paris, we didn't take the train because it was during that time, it was, they had the bed bug scare.
Oh, we got terrified about it. You can break that down
We didn't
too.
ride the train because they had the bed bug scare.
I remember that.
Yeah. It was.
So we were scared and then there were locals like, what are you talking about? Like the same way that a rat's going to get in your purse in New York taking that subway is the same chance a bed bug is going to get inside of your purse taking the Parisian subways. And we were like, oh.
It was blown out of proportion.
But that's what Kolyn blames on the media.
There's always something in Paris. There's always something happening in the city, right? It's always something.
So give me your perfect Paris.
Did you guys happen to have a...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, did you happen when you were there to witness a strike?
Oh, no. I witnessed the strike in
South of France.
South of France. Yeah, I was in South of France. We were in Nice. And right outside my hotel window, it was happening. Yep.
Yeah, because in Paris, they happen almost a weekly basis.
So really?
Sooner or later, you're going to, all the time. There's always some strike going on, something happening. Just like in Italy, they like to do it on Fridays.
Are they effective?
Strangely enough.
Yeah, no, they like a 3-day weekend, like strike for a little bit, half an hour.
Of course. Exactly.
Yeah. Parisians they're serious people. I think that's one thing I noticed. Like they don't do a lot of playing. Like they have, it's like kind of slowed down the day. They have their coffee, but they're really taking their day slowly. But they're not laughing. Everything's not funny. Kind of like very serious. Did you feel that? What about you?
It's a big city. So
City?
I like to compare Paris to New York City.
Okay.
So it's a big city. It can move quite fast. It's a financial capital. So it's a lot of people moving very quickly. On top of that, to your point, Parisian people, I have always a lot of friends in Paris and they laugh a lot, but on the streets, remember the weather is usually not that nice for most of the year as well. So I think a lot of factors together make it It's fast. It moves quickly. If you do take the subway, everyone's racing from one spot to another. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's more at nighttime. You'll see people laughing over a glass of wine, relaxing, but you do have a little bit of the French stigma of, a little bit more serious. I could see that.
But I get that I'm from New York, and I feel like people just assume New Yorkers are mean, and like they're not. They're just in a rush to do whatever for whatever reason, even if it's not a rush. They're just like, I know I have to catch this train after this train. If I miss this one, it's not going to come for 10 minutes. Now I'm put back 15 minutes, and like a lot of different things that make New Yorkers just seem annoyed. But really, I'm from New York. I'm always laughing and smiling. But I was also pushing people through the turnstile and doing all the things that Kolyn hates about New Yorkers.
Exactly.
I didn't mean to step on their foot. I didn't mean to smack them with my bag when I got on they didn't mean to do it to me. They didn't mean to squeeze me in the subway when there was no space for another individual, but they still stepped in. Like, nothing is personal. It's like everyone's just trying to get where they're going.
No.
It's not nice.
True. And I think any big city, it's endemic to any big city. So
where is home base now? Because you said you lived in Paris, you lived in Rome. Where is home base now and why?
So now I'm in Florida. So I was born in Florida, but I left the States when I was 18 and moved to Europe and spent around 25 years there.
Beautiful.
So after long enough, I was like, man, it's time to come back a little bit. Florida, I like the nice weather. So I lived in multiple cold cities. I was like, I'm kind of done. I can choose where I want to live. Let's stick to warmth and then just fly if I want to go see snow or I want to be in the cold.
Right.
Smart. We lived in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah,
so yeah.
We're moving from cold to cold though. We're moving from Denver to DC now. How often do you go back to with the groups to Paris?
So our groups run daily there. We don't start the groups in the States. They run daily from the actual city.
Oh, nice.
So in Paris, we run tours all over. Let's say you two are going to Paris and you're like, hey, I want to jump on a Louvre tour. And so you look us up and then you see there's a tour leaving with the group at 10 a.m. or at 2 p.m. or at 3 p.m. And there's 4 spots left. Just jump on the tour, 3 hours, do the tour, and then go on to the next exercise, to having a glass of wine.
Did the Louvre give any indication about like what's the next steps? I mean, are they open back for business? What are the plan to open? Will they let people anywhere near that area? Like what happens in this investigation? Because you just brought it back up again. I'm just wondering like where we are.
It's so they are back open. They're open again. And as far as we know, they're going to continue keeping it open. Now, I'm sure the security measures are going to be a little bit stricter.
Like cameras outside, maybe?
Yes. I don't want to say there weren't cameras outside, or maybe it was facing the wrong way, or it was broken and didn't work. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
It's again, you think about it, and it is literally from a movie. You think Ocean's 11, right, or one of these robber movies that just nonchalantly make it seem I just want to open the window like Pink Panther, just kind of open the door, go inside, grab something, and run out. So, yeah, for now, everything thankfully is back open. I think it was closed for 2 days, 2 to 3 days, but that's past us, and we're moving on. And hopefully, nobody else tries to steal anything from the Louvre. It's bad for business.
All right. I had another question. Why do you think your videos of Italy do so well? Why those? Because I saw the views on those; they're off the charts. Why do you think it's those like Sicilian videos or the Italian videos?
I think that people, especially Americans, American is our biggest audience is North America. I think Italy is one of the top destinations that people want to visit, and so there are so many places to visit in Italy that you can see. And I think if you compare between Italy and France, so France, when you think of France, you're like Paris. It's number 1, and then number 2 is
London.
What is it for you guys?
As far as in Europe or
In Europe?
in France?
In France.
specifically?
No, in France.
I would say
South
Nice.
France.
What's your number two
Yeah,
city?
Nice,
Yeah.
Côte d'Azur.
Oh, maybe what was the other one to the west? Was it to the west?
That's mine. I said mine.
What's the one everyone goes to? It's on the coastline. It's on the coastline the other way. Nice is one way, and this place is the other way. It's I can't think of the name.
Normandy.
No, it's on the
Normandy's one of
coastline.
most
It's
famous on the coast. Bordeaux.
Avignon, we stopped by, but still like Nice better.
not Bordeaux. Bordeaux's water wine. Bordeaux's a little bit inland. I can't think of the name, but all the yachts go there. I can't think of the name right now.
Saint-Tropez.
Saint-Tropez. Boom. There it is.
Or
Yep.
Saint-Tropez,
Saint-Tropez.
yeah.
Yep.
Or where did the racing
But-
happen? The like Grand is it?
Oh,
Grand
that's
Prix?
in actually in Italy
Monaco.
though.
That's in Monaco in Italy. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Monaco, yeah.
But
So I
Saint-Tropez,
think,
I think
to the
second.
point is like, if you go France, you're like, okay, maybe here, I might go there. In Italy, it's right away. Everybody knows. It's like Venice, Florence, Rome,
Yeah.
Naples, Sicily. And it's a lot more, they're just a little more known outside of Rome itself. And I think maybe that's why people just know it a little bit better. And so like we make videos on Champagne. We haven't done the south of France yet, but we will. And it's a good idea. We should do more of those. But I think, the main, Italy is just, for the average American who's going to travel, I feel like Italy, they just know it better. They know more cities, more than just Paris.
And I heard about, speaking of champagne, that it's actually banned to call anything champagne unless it's from that region of France, correct? Like you can't just call anything
100%,
champagne
exactly.
in the store. So if it says champagne, it's actually from that region, specifically in France.
Same thing with cognac, right? You can't call cognac if it's not from the cognac region. Armagnac, it's the same. Yeah.
So
Because
what,
I think in the States, like 20 years ago, California, they're like, champagne. Everyone's like, champagne everywhere. Let's get champagne. And they're like, wait. And France is like, wait a minute, guys. That's not champagne.
Slow down.
that's what Kolyn's talking about, the
make some
mean.
rules.
That's mean right there. They're not just letting you say a name. So tell me about what you would tell tourists that go to the, like, both on our end, like, okay, here's how American tourists can do better when they go visit Europe. And then here's some ways you can avoid getting taken advantage of. Because I feel like we have a huge sign on us that says, charge us the most, do this, do that. And that's not just for Europe. That's when you go to the Caribbean. I have friends from there, like, yeah, they charge you the same in US dollars that they charge us locally, which is like tenfold. So if it's 20 US, it's also 20 for us. So I'm trying to figure out how not to get taken advantage of, but also how to be a better traveler. So when I come there, people don't feel like I just came as the stigmatized American. I came and actually did the right thing.
I don't. So off the top of my head, usually if you guys are going to go travel somewhere, you're going to be recognized as Americans. I think that is two things. Usually the way they dress, not you two, but just in general, the way Americans dress is usually quite, it's very easy to, usually because they're wearing sneakers. And Europeans don't wear sneakers as much, especially like in Paris, in a big city. And the other thing is usually your eyes are quite big. So walking down the street as a tourist, you go someplace new, usually your eyes are kind of open. You're just kind of looking around because everything is amazing and different and kind of beautiful to look at. But to answer your question, I think things you could do is learn a few words in French can help. I think that goes a long way, especially in places like Paris where people, if you walk into a shop and you're like, hello, and they're like, well, here we say bonjour, So just even a few words, I think that goes a long way. I think as well, when you travel to some place like Paris, I would say bring nice clothes with you. You can't get overdressed when you're in Paris.
I love that.
So wear,
Sunday's
ditch the
best.
sweatpants. Okay, don't bring sweatpants with you. Don't bring like sandals. Bring a nice pair of loafer, for guys, girls. You can wear high heels. It's very popular. Similar. I think New York is very similar, right? In the city. So get dressed up, and it doesn't have to be over the top, but just because the French in general they dress nice, elegant, but not super flashy. And so I think just those two things is good. Besides that, I think choosing the part of the city you want to stay in can help, because I tend to want to stay in an area that has some things that I need close by, but not in the crazy part of the city. So even maybe a little bit outside, but then if I want to go party or go to a club or go to bars, you don't have to stay in that part of town. You can stay a little bit outside. I would say those are the top things.
All right, so I got to wear heels walking around. But I actually like that, to be dressed up.
You don't have to wear the heels.
Well,
you don't have to wear
but
heels.
you know what?
Your bag, what you
Why
do
not?
already.
But you know what happened? I think the pandemic, like I used to get dressed up a lot more, and then the pandemic happened. And like everyone else, I got used to being dressed up like waist up. And then I got used to taking that off immediately when I was off air, because I'm a journalist, otherwise, or political commentator. So no one saw me when I was at home, and I'll put my pajamas back on. So I actually want to return to just like, finding things that are comfortable for me, but also dressing up more when I'm on my leisure time. Because if I have a chance now, I will put on sweats and sneakers immediately, and I used to not do that.
Yeah. I think it's a thing when you get dressed. It's like a polite thing. I have a friend of mine, he says, get dressed is polite. And you kind of showing people that you care, that you have a soft soft-handed this thing, and you're moving with care, and you want to look nice because you want to fit in because you assume that they're going to look nice. So that's why you get dressed.
But it feels good as well, right? Get dressed up. It feels nice. You feel good. You feel better, and you go out, go to a nice restaurant. Even if you just go into the bakery,
Yeah.
you don't have to wear high heels to the bakery. But just like, get dressed up a little bit. Overall, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, I want to end with a little bit of a crazy story. I'm going to tell you one, and then you have to tell me one that's equally or more crazy. I lost my passport in the Louvre. I actually left it. My mom told me when I was studying abroad, oh, you don't need a passport holder. Just put it in a sock and tuck it in your pants so it's always on you. If you have your underwear on, then you have a passport.
In a sock?
Yes. So I just listened to her and just did that. And I walked around. I went to the restroom, obviously. The Louvre, like Kolyn said, can take up to 5 hours. And I took it out, put it on top of the toilet tissue thing, walked out, enjoyed my day, realized that night as I had to fly back to London where my study abroad program was, my passport was in the bathroom. So I stayed in Paris an extra night. My friend Erin and I went back to the Louvre. We were running all around. And this is why she said, maybe the security is not that great at the Louvre, because we were running all around. I was behind places I wasn't supposed to be where security was asking them who saw my passport. Finally, the man who was in an area where you can buy food, and this was so many years ago, I don't remember where it was. I want to say like a cafeteria area, but wherever they're serving food, I went behind the thing and was like, has anybody seen, because I figured that maybe some janitors would be over there in this area, my passport. And somebody said, was it in a sock? And he gave me my passport. I didn't have to go to the embassy and go figure out how to get back to London and then back to the States ultimately, because it was towards the end of our trip. And
You better be happy they didn't throw that sock away.
I know. You see it, think about a dirty sock like, oh, let me check what's in there. It's hard pamphlet.
But how did your passport fit in a sock? Because it's kind of wide.
Well, I stretched the sock out like, I kind of like did like this. Talk to my mom about this. I'm going to bring her on to talk about why the heck she told me to do that. I'm blaming her. As an 18-year-old or 19, I feel like I should get some leeway here.
Hilarious.
So now you got a crazy Paris story?
Not as crazy as yours, so I'll just keep it to myself.
Okay, so Brandon, you can end us off. What's the wildest thing that happened to you in Paris?
Trying to decide which one I should tell you.
No, tell the one that you're thinking of.
So for New Year's when I was there, and I was there for New Year's in the year 2000. So it was a very big year. Remember the year turned 2000, fireworks, Eiffel Tower. It was amazing. And I highly recommend people, if you want to go to have a huge, beautiful street party, go to Paris for New Year's. It is a lot of fun. And we were partying in the streets. We were drinking a lot of champagne. And on the embankment of the river, you have these walls on both sides, about up to 20, 30 feet high. And we actually, I'll tell you. So we basically went and stripped off most of our clothes in the middle of the night, with crowds all around us, everyone cheering us on, and we jumped into the river.
Oh, that's
30
epic.
feet down.
Yeah, that's pretty epic. Lindsey,
Brandon, you topped me.
Yeah, he might have topped you. You definitely topped you. That's cool.
Okay, well,
That's a
listen,
cool
we're coming
story.
on a trip with you because obviously you're more fun than anybody
You
actually
should have got that on camera. That's what you
I
needed
would
on
love
camera.
you guys.
Well, we're going to connect offline to
did
talk
not
about
get
how
this-
we can get a little crazy and have the most fun on these trips. Brandon Shaw,
Let's do it. I'll
the
set
tour
you guys
guy.
up.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
set
going
you
to
guys up.
connect. The tour guy, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insight. Hopefully we can visit you on one of these trips. Thank you so much.
Sounds great. Thank you.
That was awesome. I mean, jumping in the river, I haven't done that. And
That's crazy. 30 feet drop?
yeah, that's...
And you know
epic.
the water was freezing.
Forget my passport in a sock, guys.
Yeah.
Brandon won. We'll see you guys on the next episode of World of Travel. Thanks so much, as always, for joining us. See you later.
See you next time.
Don't do anything Brandon or I wouldn't do.